This video is brought to you by Yode, maker of wooden watches. And later in the video I'm gonna go over an awesome giveaway, link in the description, and a discount code. Hi guys! On my channel I explore lots of different things, and this time I was curious if I could make the ultimate bag for the street photographer. Of course you could go out and buy a bag, but I wanted to see if I could make one that was just as good, but with my style in mind. I had never done anything quite like this before, so first I did some research and kind of got a feel for what type of bag I wanted, and man, there's a lot of gorgeous bags out there. Then a few months ago I made a test one, a prototype, using the materials and the style that I like. After using it quite a bit, I found a couple of things I didn't love. Like the closure system with buckles, very annoying and tricky to close. I wanted it to be a bit larger, and I wanted lots of more cushioning and better foam to protect cameras and lenses more. Generally though, I like the design, the pockets, all of that. So this new bag will be the 2.0 version, the ultimate street photographer's bag. At least that's the plan. We'll see how it turns out. I started with taking new measurements, and I'm using wax canvas for all the outer parts. This is a stone color. For the interior parts, I'm using a regular maroon canvas. I'm also using some beautiful brown leather for the details and the strap. And I went to a Tandy leather store a while back, and their great staff helped me pick out a good leather for this use. And yeah, I just love the color of this one. Previously I used quilting padding, but this time I got good foam. And I started with the bottom, which I definitely wanted padded. Otherwise, the main bag, the outer shell, won't be padded, but there will be a removable insert in the same maroon fabric, and that will have a lot of cushioning. A project like this can seem a bit intimidating at first because, I don't know, it's a bag. It just seems like a pretty big project, and you want to make sure it looks decent if you actually want to use it. At the same time, I'm not going for perfection here. And what I discovered doing this twice now is that most parts are not that complicated. And where you want to be extra careful, that's when sewing like the curved flap part or lining up the pockets around, things like that which are really visible. Everything else you can't really tell. To close the bag, I decided to not go with traditional buckles. Instead, I was intrigued by the Sam Browne buttons. It's such a simple concept, like a knob that you slip a leather flap onto. So I figured let's try that out. I also made two straps to go above to hold the flap in place, and I used rivets for that. So I'm using waxed canvas for the outer bag parts, and that's first of all because it's waterproof, so it's great when it's raining a little, and I also think it just kind of has a cool look to it. Waxed canvas is about 2 to 3 times more expensive than regular canvas, but you could certainly go with the regular stuff instead and then just spray on some protection. That would work too. So now I have the main skeleton of the bag completed, and it's time to think about the insert. One thing I wanted to change from the old bag was more cushioning, but also more flexibility, where I could move the dividers depending on what you're bringing with you in the bag. So I went with Velcro. In general, I think about the sewing or the leather work like almost any other skill. Like, it's really cool to know how to do it, and a sewing machine can be a great investment into your creative future. It's just good to figure out how to do stuff. And this is really useful. And like always when sewing thick things together, I have found, at least with my sewing machine, that it's a good idea to stock up on leather needles. I broke 5 throughout this project. So just something to keep in mind. Then for the dividers, I'm adding the opposite Velcro pieces on the ends. I'm using using some pretty heavy-duty brass snaps and plates connected onto leather. So gluing the pieces together and punching holes to sew on. And here I had a piece of leather on the other side as well for extra strength, because this is the main stress point of the bag. These are the straps for the Sam Browne buttons. So just making a couple of holes and some relief cuts, so it just slips onto the button, but not more than that. I'm using 2 pieces doubled up here, so punching holes to sew all around, as well as attaching it onto the flap. Then I'm cutting up 2 pieces for the main strap, so it can be adjustable with a buckle. And while it's really nice to be able to use a piece of leather like this, another option is to use an old belt here. That would also work. I'm also making a wider shoulder strap piece, so the main strap can fit inside for a more comfortable feel when wearing the bag. And this was one of the parts of the prototype that I made that I really liked. Then to determine the length here, I just kind of go by feel, and then I put the ideal length in my mind in the middle hole, and that way it can be adjusted a bit either way. And I'm using rivets to connect the buckle to the strap. Now lastly, side flaps. So on the prototype, I didn't think this part was that necessary, but after using the bag several times in the rain, remember I live in Oregon, I figured yes, some kind of flaps to protect the sides from water entering is very important. So these kind of fold inwards when you close the bag, so there won't be a big gap. And that works pretty good. And here we go! The final result is a much stiffer bag than the prototype. The extra padding makes a huge difference. The Sam Browne button system works really well, and it's pretty quick and easy to open and close the bag, and it feels well secured, so I like that. I can easily fit 2 smaller cameras and a lens, as well as my notebook. And I love that I can adjust the pockets in the insert, so if I wanted to use a larger camera, then I could make that work. So as you can see here, I'm wearing a rather unique watch, a Yode wooden watch. Isn't it gorgeous? And you have a chance to win a $180 gift card at their store, which is pretty cool. So follow the link in the description to participate in that. In addition, you guys get a $25 discount. Yode offers a range of really interesting watches on their website, all using different woods and faces. I chose the Dover series, and one of the reasons for that is because you can see the movement of the watch, which I love. The watch came delivered in this really nice box, and I even had it engraved, so it says Darbin Orvar on the back of it. Now, whether you're looking for that perfect gift for someone, or you've been looking for a unique piece for yourself, all of their watches are worth checking out, I think, because they're just so interesting. I mean, I don't know, I've been wearing it for a couple of days now, and I've gotten so many comments about it already. So yeah, definitely check out the link in the description box for the giveaway and the discount code. So I love trying these types of projects because first of all, it's just kind of cool to see if you can do it. Secondly, you get just the look you want. And third, it's pretty affordable. I counted up all the materials that I used, and I would say it was probably around $60. And I could have definitely gone cheaper on some things. But that is a lot less money than buying a bag made in similar materials at a nice store. So all in all, is it the ultimate camera bag for the street photographer? I don't know, but as of right now, I kind of think so. I can't think of anything to improve. It has the look, the size, the protection that I want. Can you guys think of anything? Do you like it? And what would you change or keep? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.